Hello, I'm going to do a kind of Whirlwind Flexbox demo. So first thing is I have an index page, index.html, that's going to be my first page, and style.css, here they are right there. I have some content in here for the homework if you want to use the Constitution, or I also have a bunch of stuff on voting laws, kind of continuing with the US politics stuff happening. You are welcome to do your site on anything you want. If you definitely don't want to think about politics, I could completely understand that. Kittens is always a good option. I'm probably going to do some kittens in this page. So I have my index.html. It's saved as .html. So that means that down here at the bottom, it knows it's an HTML file. So if I do exclamation point and then tab, I will get the boilerplate information for HTML. So I'm going to change this to, I'll just call it Flexbox demo. This file, I'm actually going to save it as an example.html later, but just wanted to kind of show you from index.html standpoint. And then I'm just going to put just hello in the body so we can just take a look at the site. So if this will refresh, come on, little server, there we go. So my tab now says Flexbox demo because I added that to the title tag in the head, and there's hello in my body. Body is everything visible. This whole box here is the body. Okay, so let's make some space. One more thing, let's add a link. So if I type LINK, and then tab, it will fill in this link and it'll add the rel style sheet, which is relationship. And then I can add style.css, and they're in the same level directory. So I just have to do the name of the file. And then let's see, I'm going to open the body some more. It wants to shrink on me because I don't have anything. We'll do a header and we'll make a little nav in here. Okay. Let's see. I don't know what to do. I'll just do the Constitution. So Constitution of the United States of America. Okay, there's my H1. Maybe I'll just put a little nav below it, and that'll be our first Flexbox introduction. So a nav is kind of a list of links, and so a good way to show the links is by using the unordered list and then just kind of making it not look like a list anymore. So here is my UL, and I don't even know what my pages will be. I'll just make some stuff up because I have no idea. I'll just copy this. Contact, just boring normal stuff. News, that seems like a good thing to have. News. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. Okay, so I'll just change the font, and I'm just going to use some built-in font. So for everything, the whole site, I'm going to say font family is, what should we do? Franklin Gothic sounds very good. So let's see. Sure, whatever. Okay, it's very serious. So now everything is Franklin Gothic. But what if I wanted to have my headers different? I can override the Franklin Gothic with another font. Oops, typing's hard. Font family. And then I will pick, I don't know, I'll do Cambria. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, very constitutional. Okay, so I want not just the H1, but also the H2 and the H3. So I'm going to have them all show up as Cambria. If for some reason Cambria doesn't work, it'll go to Cochin. If Cochin doesn't work, it'll go to Georgia. It's unlikely that Georgia will not be available because I think it's available on everything, but this is kind of all the backup, and it starts with the beginning of the list and just goes through till it finds one that is actually there. Cambria, I think, is also available on most sites. Okay, so now that we have that, I want to add really quickly, there's two different versions of this thing I'm about to show you. The one that I like is the Eric Meyer reset. So Eric Meyer has been a big proponent of CSS since the very beginning. So if you go to meyerweb.com and you click on this, you will see this box is basically all of the stuff that Eric has added to kind of like zero out all of the styles that you get by default with CSS. Let me put this in a file and I'll show you what I mean. So if I'm going to just paste that in. I'm going to save this as Meyer -reset. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's usually called something like this. And I'm going to save it right where the style.css file is. So before I link this, I'm going to show you some things that are kind of annoying about HTML. So if I put a background color in here of something, I'll just do azure. That's it's going to be too light. We'll just do it obnoxious for now. So let's go to the site. Oh, dang it. Why are you doing this to me? All right. Let's pretend I never did that. And I make the header. So let's do some header style. So we're going to say the header is, the width of the header is 100%, and I'm going to use VW here. VW is kind of the same thing as saying 100% in this case, but because there's nothing else that it could be 100% inside of, but it is the viewport width. So this is saying that you want it to be 100% of the viewport width. And then if I put in the background color, I think I also need to give it some height since it doesn't have, well, I guess it has text in it. So let's look at this. So if this is 100% of the viewport width, why is there this white bit over here? See that? There's like white on both sides. And if this was like 100, I'll just make it 100% high. Height of 100% VH for viewport height. You can see that it's, it's like all around. It's very annoying. And also this kind of floats off the edge like that. And this top issue is also because the H1 has margin. So the margin is like messing up the top. And if you kind of inspect this, you can see in the header, there's like a default of display block. That means it's trying to take over the whole width of the page, which is great for us now. If you click on body, there's this margin 8 pixels. So if I mouse over that orange part, that's this default HTML style, and it's called user agent style sheet. So whenever you see this slightly grayed out box, that's what's happening. And there's a lot of stuff like that. Like the margin messing things up is also a user agent style sheet. It's quite annoying. And so you would have to kind of override all these styles in order to get them kind of starting with a clean slate. And so that is what the Eric Meyer tool does. So if we go in and we go to our index.html, I want to import this above style.css because we want our styles to override these Eric Meyer styles. So meyer-reset.css is the name of the file, correct? Yes, Meyer reset. So now let's take a look at what happens. So now the H1 has kind of cleared out its default style. It's cleared out the margin. The body has cleared out its margin, and we have a much cleaner, happier slate to start with. So as designers who want more control, this is a pretty great way to go. There's another one called Normalize Css. Let's see. All over the place. I guess it's this Nicholas Gallagher guy. Oh yeah, and here's like a whole article about which one should you use. They're basically fairly similar, and I've found that if you forget to add it and then you run into problems and then you have to add it later, just try one and then try the other and see which one gets you closer to your design. They just have different stuff in them. This article probably tells you, so I'm going to grab this article for you guys. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. So now that we've got that, let's get rid of this ugly aquamarine. We'll just do that antique white so we look like we're official. Okay, so now for the headers, I kind of have to give them font size, which is fine. It's probably better that I know than to just sort of use what's there. So font size for H1, the sweet spot right now, like the trends are trends, and but anyway, 48 to 60 pixels is a good amount. We'll just do 48. I want to speed this along because we're here for Flexbox, not fonts. Font size, I'll do like 32. Oh, forgot the pixels. That's important. It would not work. Neither would this. Is definitely not going to work. Okay, and then H3, I'm going to set as font size, maybe just 18, slightly bigger. For the body, I want to set a font size there. So I'm going to say font size. And right now, the trend is between 14 and 20 pixels, kind of on the larger side. You don't want to go smaller than 14 pixels for any readable content. Okay, so here's that. And that will automatically get used for the unordered list. So as you notice, this unordered list no longer has bullets. So now you have to actually add the bullets back in if you want bullets, but generally it's kind of easier to add them. You know, you find yourself wanting to either change the bullets they give you or to not have them at all. So it kind of works out to just have them zeroed out. Oh, cancel. Okay, let's get on with Flexbox. So let's get rid of this height thing. Okay, and I'm just going to give this a bit of padding. Padding of, I don't know, 40 pixels. And then the background color, let's put it on the whole document. So I'm going to take it out of here, put it on body. And that way everything will have background of antique white. Okay, so the nav, let's look at this HTML. The nav has a UL and the UL has LIs. So in Flexbox, you want to tell the parent is what decides how these things are going to flow. So I'm going to give this a class and I'm going to say, I'll just call it Flex. I'll just call it Flex. And then we are going to, and then we're going to tell it to display this as Flex, and then all of its children will flex. So let's try that. Let's go to style. First, okay, so we're up here now. Style. So I have a style called Flex, and I'm going to say display Flex. And automatically, it'll just try to flex in one big row. So the default is a row. And then I can, for each of these items, I can say inside my Flex, if there's an LI, give them some padding. So I can I'll just say padding 10 pixels. Probably want more than that. So now I've got a bit of padding. So what if I want them to go all the way to the right? There is a thing, let's look it up. Flex, okay, CSS Flexbox. And then we can just say position right. See if that gets us to where we want to go. Aligning items in a Flex container. So developer.mozilla is good. Stack Overflow can be good, but it can be hard to find the right thing. Smashing Magazine usually has good stuff. CSS Tricks is usually great. And the other one is W3 schools, which I'm surprised we don't have showing up. So let's go to CSS tricks. And it'll show you a bunch of ways of displaying all this stuff. So you can order things, you can grow certain items to be larger, you can change the direction. So the default is row, but you could change it to column, or you could even have it do in reverse order. You can wrap things. So if you only want 4 per column, you can do that. Okay, flow. Let's just justify content. That's what we want. So I always remember it this way. There's justify content and there's align items. Those are kind of the two big aligning things in Flex. And I remember align items is on the column. So it's like aligning it top, bottom. I remember it that way because I think of a capital A and that it's an arrow pointing up. And so justify, I don't know why. J, I don't know. But we want justify content flex end. And we probably want it on the parent. So let's do that. So flex justify dash content flex end. And then we should have our nav over there. Okay. I'm not going to worry about making it beautiful because I want to show you just like a 2-column grid. So we're done with our nav. Now we want to have a main section. And that main section, I want to have a left column and a right column. So I'll just use divs. And remember all these main and nav and header, they're all basically divs with prettier names so that it's easier for us to look at the code. So I'll give this one a class of left. And then this one, I'm going to give a class of right. So I'm going to have a 2-column grid, 2-column Flexbox here. So I'm going to say class equals, and I'm just going to call it flex2 because then, and these are just terrible names. You can name them whatever. You could name them animal table or I don't know, gallery of pickles, whatever. I'm just kind of doing generic names. Okay, so flex2, let's put this down here. And as you can see, I'm kind of organizing my CSS by the kind of basic tags, like all the HTML tags, body, header. And then as I get into my classes, I'm kind of adding them below. So this one's going to be flex-2. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did above. I'm going to say display flex. Here, the difference is that I want to control those right and left columns. So I'm going to say flex-2. I'm going to say if there's a class and it has inside of it a class called left, do one thing. And if there's a class inside of it called right, do another thing. In this case, I'm going to tell it how much I want it to flex. So I'm going to give it a flex. I'll show you the different values. So I can say 1. So it's like a unit of 1. And then if I give the same thing to right, then I will end up, let's put some content in there. Also, I want both of them to have just a border so that we can see them. So I'm going to do a more generic style for div because both of those are divs. I'm going to say border equals 1 pixel solid black. Okay, just so we can see them. And then let's just put some, I'll just say, I'll just put a paragraph of lorem. Watch this trick, lorem 10. I think I showed this to you already. There's 10 lorem ipsum words. I'm going to make a paragraph in here. I'm going to say lorem 20. Okay, so now we have content. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so now we have even Steven, 50-50 column, bit crowded, but we have a flex. and it's 50-50. So I could change that. I could say, I want the first one to be 1 unit and the second one to be 2. So that would make it, whatever. Whatever. This is two of these. So it's thirds, right? Or I could say make it 3, and then it would be 1/4 and 3/4. You can, instead of using this flex 1 and 3, you could give them percentage. So I could say make this one 20% and this one 80%. And as long as they add up to 100, be good. So there's that. So let's do, I'm going to do like 30-70. And then let's look at one other thing. So see how this is like stretching all the way across. I want this to be centered and not quite so tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the flex 2. So flex 2 is basically main. So I could either put it on main or I could put it on flex 2. Yeah, let's put it on main. So I'm going to say main. And instead of being 100% wide, which is what the default is for any block level element, I'm going to say make it 70% wide and make the margin auto. So that's going to say, okay, well, the box is 70% wide and the margin is just going to equal itself on either side. So it's going to figure out what the margin should be. And then I'm going to get this nicely centered content. So this is like a major lifesaver, this trick, because no matter what happens with the site, oh, interesting. Something thinks it's wider than 100% here. Might be the nav, maybe. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Display block. You can tell I can't help myself. Okay, so now that we have that, we can just give it a bit of padding. So each one of these divs, I'll give them a padding of 40 pixels. And then that'll get them away from the sides. And we've got this, fairly nicely laid out two-column thing. So let's say I want to have 2 more. So I'm going to do this. Oh, actually, if I do this, let's see what happens. Oh, okay, cool. So it doesn't really take into account the percentage. It's just like kind of figuring it out, and it wants it to be all in one column. So what we can do is we can add flex wrap. So on the flex, we can say flex wrap, no wrap, and now that percentage will only happen for a single row, maybe. Okay, flex left, right, flex wrap. Oh, I'm telling it to not wrap. I want it to wrap. Okay, now, oh, great. Okay, now it's wrapping everything. Interesting. I'm going to try something. If this is a 2 and this is, how does it know? Okay. The thing that I think is happening, which actually this goes back to the Eric Meyer thing. I'm going to try something. Box sizing, border box. Let's see if that fixes this. Sure does. Okay. All right. I'm going to have you use Normalize instead. Because, let me take a look. Normalize. Let's grab it. I don't want to download it. Just give me the... Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. So if I copy this, I'm just going to be lazy. No, I'll be good. I will add Flex, new file. So Normalize.css. So what's happening is that there's this this style called box sizing, and if you don't have it, it makes layout kind of harder. So let's take a look and see if that fixed it. Sure didn't. Okay. Well then, we'll just keep box sizing in. That's very interesting. Okay. Oh, but look, Normalize put the bullets back in. So this is kind of an experiment of which is better, right? It looks like, other than that, they're probably about the same. Okay, that is interesting. Let's just put it back to Meyer. Right, I guess it doesn't matter. It's just basically bullets or no bullets, and you still need box sizing. Maybe I've had an edited normalize file that I put box sizing in, because I don't think that it's in here. It's interesting. Okay. So that is 2 different columns. I have just taken you down a rabbit hole, and it's 26 minutes. How is that possible? Okay, I better stop. Right. Bye.